The United States has made a decision. They are going to end the use of the penny. But the biggest thing is it's happening in the future, not as of yet. The U.S. penny, its value is 1 cent. However, it costs the United States 3.7 cents to manufacture 1 penny. It's just a horrible business. Doesn't make sense. Even the nickel, which value is 5 cents, it costs the United States 13.78 cents for every single nickel made. It doesn't make sense to mint new coins. Now, I want to show you something. It says, Treasury to phase out penny after Trump says the coin no longer makes sense. That's what President Trump said many months ago. But it's what's happening now that has me somewhat concerned. And I want to show you this as well. We're going to talk about this article. It says, so what happens to America's 114 billion pennies once the U.S. stops making them? Well, this is the real question. What do we do with all these pennies? Well, I want to read you a couple comments first. Listen to this person and let me know if you have actual experience with this as well. But this person wrote to me and says, and I quote, a customer came into the restaurant that I work and ordered some food. His total came to around $18. He asked if he can pay in pennies, and I told him it was fine as long as they aren't loose, meaning they have to be packed in a roll. Each roll is 50 cents. Says he proceeded to hand me 40 rolls of pennies, which is $20. I thought it was strange, but then he said, I quote, I can't believe you guys are still accepting pennies. Don't you know the U.S. government has stopped making them? I pretty much got a free meal. I don't think he realized that pennies are still valuable. Am I wrong? And now I've done, I think, 3 or 4 videos on the United States being done with the penny. In every single one, somebody comments something like this, where somebody's paying with pennies. And they pretty much think they're getting a free product. They pretty much think they're getting out of something because the penny isn't worth anything. The penny is. The penny is still worth 1 penny, 1 cent. Now, I want to read you another comment as well. This person actually replied to this comment and said, and I quote, I had something similar happen to me at a yard sale. I sold a knick-knack for 50 cents and the person gave me $1. This was the beginning of the sale, so I didn't have any change yet, but I did have a few rolls of pennies. I gave the person a roll of pennies, and he told me he can't take that because pennies have been discontinued, and he took his $1 back and left. Again, people think the penny has no value right now, but it does. This is what's going to happen. First off, I want to show you something else. It says right here, the U.S. government is expected to stop producing new pennies for circulation by early 2026. Just in 2024, the United States lost $85.3 million on penny production. It says, as pennies phase out, businesses are likely to round cash transaction to the nearest 5 cents, resulting in what they call a rounding tax. It says right here, we estimate that rounding tax could cost U.S. customers approximately $6 million annually. But if we were to do that with the nickel, it would cost us about $56 million per year. Okay, here's what I want to show you. Look at this right here. It says, the National Retail Foundation, which represents most major U.S. store chains, as well as thousands of small retailers, also said it anticipates its members will use pennies even after production stops at some point early next year. Although it does anticipate that many will round cash transaction to the nearest nickel, once the supply chain of pennies at banks starts to run out. And it could. But here's the thing. There are currently 114 billion pennies currently in circulation. Okay? They say they are severely underutilized, many of which are sitting at home, sitting in jars, junk drawers. You throw them in a take a penny, give a penny, little box at the retail store, right? I have a bunch of pennies. and they're pretty much all in rolls. If I pay with cash and they give me a couple pennies, there's a very good chance I toss it in the little donation jar. Okay, I just don't keep pennies. Same thing with nickels, dimes. I'll keep them, but really nickels and pennies, if they hand me 7 cents back, I'm just gonna put it there. Like, here you go. Here's a little tip for you, right? Because I just don't want it. Right? It's more hassle than anything to me. But here's what you need to know, and this is why this is important. The United States is going to end production of the penny. It's going to happen in the beginning of 2026, according to multiple reports. But for many retailers, they've already stopped accepting the penny. They don't want you paying with change. I went to a, it's like a coffee shop, a little more modern coffee shop, whatever. Anyway, this coffee shop, they want you to pay with a card. They prefer Apple Pay. They prefer that you actually don't pull out a wallet and you stick your card into the machine. They want you to touch your phone on the thing or touch your smartwatch, whatever. They just want you to pay through some type of electronic payment. That's it. But if you want to pay with cash, you can. However, and this is the interesting thing, it's a 25-cent charge to pay with cash. And if it comes to a certain amount and they have to give you a penny, they won't give you a penny. They won't give you 5 cents. Okay? They won't give you your 10 cents. They're going to charge you to the nearest 25 cents. That's just what they're going to do. And again, this is what we're facing, and this is what many stores have been doing for some time, is they're going cashless. They don't want you to pay with a $20 bill. They want you to pay with a card, preferably a debit card, because again, if you pay with a credit card, they're likely going to have a fee. And so this is what's puzzling for many people, is why wouldn't you just accept cash when these debit card or credit card transactions are costing a certain amount of money, a certain percentage every single transaction. Now, what I find interesting though, and again, I bring this up because what we're going to face is exactly what Canada has faced over the years. Canada moved away from the penny. Look at this right here. It says the impact of rounding on consumers. Now, a lot of people are going to read this and be like, oh, this sounds really good. Maybe, maybe not. Okay? But this is why I want to show it to you. It says with the removal of the penny, cash transactions will likely be rounded to the nearest nickel. A common rounding rule is as follows. If the final digit of a purchase ends in 3, 4, 8, or 9, the total will be rounded up. If it ends in 1, 2, 6, or 7, it will be rounded down. Transactions ending in 0 and 5 are not rounded. Okay. Here's what's interesting though. This is the final digit of the purchase. This isn't the final digit of the product. Meaning, if you have 5 products that are that cost $9.99. Okay, so the 99, the 99, the 99, right? $9.99. It's gonna come out to $20 or $9.99. You got 5 products with $49.95. Okay, at the end of it, right? Okay, so $49.95. Again, comes 5 cents. So it's not going to be rounded down, won't be rounded up, stays at 5 cents. But if you have one more product, you have 6 products. Okay, that means you actually pay a little bit more, pay an extra 5 cents. So it's pretty much you paid $10. But if you had 4 products, and again, I'll show you this. So if it was 5 products right here, ends in a 6, it'll be rounded down. But if you had the 4 products, or the 6 products, it'll be rounded up, okay, based off of this common rounding rule. Now again, I'm not saying we're going down that path, but this is the reason why it's important. Most people don't realize that when the penny is discontinued, we are going to see some changes. But it doesn't mean the penny has lost its value. The penny is still worth a penny. It's still legal tender. Keep that in mind, because I know a lot of people right now, and reading through the comments, most people don't realize what's happening. Most people don't realize that they're just giving away money. Again, if you get a roll of pennies and you just hand it to somebody, you just gave them 50 cents. Don't think this has no value. This does have value. Okay, I just want to leave you with that, because as of right now, again, we are moving away from the penny. I believe, based off of what we've seen, based off of statements from multiple people in the White House, is that President Trump does want to move away from the nickel as well, but it won't be at the same time we move away from the penny. Because that right there, we move away from the penny and we move away from the nickel. That means everything has to be rounded, if you're paying in cash, to the nearest 10 cents. That right there could actually cause additional inflation. So we'll see what happens, but let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is something that is needed? Do you think this is something that is, long overdue? Or do you think this is just a way that the United States is trying to cut back costs at the expense of the American people? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.